So you're about to see something pretty different in today's video. This is Travels with Dottie. And what I'm going to do is this is going to be filming I did of events, however mundane they may be, in a day in my life. And that day is October 24th, 2024. And everything is without sound, especially um, when I'm sitting with my neighbors. They don't want their private conversations on the internet, so you'll see them. There won't be any sound, and all my voice is going to be in post production when I'm watching this with you, and I'm kind of explaining what you're seeing, kind of what I'm thinking, and just I'm gonna freeform the narrative. And I hope you like this. And uh, it's different. Take care. Enjoy it.
Well, this is how I start my day every morning, usually between 5 and 6 a.m. The first thing I do is I decide on the positive news story for the day, and I do all the recording and editing of that. I upload it, publish it, and then I do the comments video. And one of the first things I have to do about that is uh, I have to look at the end of yesterday's to figure out what comment I left off on so I don't repeat it. So I do that. And if I usually I'll have a just the third video of the day, the long form video already ready to go. So all I have to do is turn on the publish switch. And in about an hour or so, I'm pretty much done for publishing YouTube for the day. And during the day, I will likely do a video, and it's not a big, hard, for the next day or to put one in the bank. And it's not that difficult to do because I'm basically um, filming my just day-to-day nomad RV existence. So it's not like I'm doing stuff specifically for a video. I'm living my life and recording it. So it's actually pretty easy. And you notice there what I my setup isn't that fancy. I mean, I did get that's a really nice, comfortable chair that I have. So when I do spend long periods of time in it, like Fridays is my work day, and I do back-to-back Zoom sessions all day. I'm in a comfortable chair, and it's good for my back. It's got great lumbar support. It's got great back support. Um, and it's the most probably the most expensive piece of furniture that you see there because that desk it might look nice on camera, but that is all that is a folding Walmart table. That's all it is. You know, $30 I think it costs. That's a Dell laptop I have, and you see sort of clipped on top of it is my Osmo Pocket 3 camera that I use as a webcam. There's a ring light to light my face up. That kind of brown thing on the side there, it's just a little bamboo chest of drawers there with a lot of electronic stuff on top of it and stuff in the drawers. So this is my little workstation. It's tucked in the slide out in my little tiny trailer. And the only other thing that you might be interested in is if you look all the way to the left on the wall, you'll see my selfie drone hanging there. So anyway, this is how I start every single day. Well, after that's done, it's time to take Dottie for a walk. If we're getting tied up in the leash here. She's always excited to go outside, and we're off. And just if you're new to me and want to know where I am, I'm at my home base, which is Preferred RV Resort in Pahrump, Nevada, which is about 45 minutes outside Las Vegas. Say over the hump, meaning over the hump means over the pass. It's a different world from Las Vegas. It's desert living for sure. Um, and that's my dog, Dottie. And she's on, I call it a walk, she calls it a sniff, because she mostly stops and sniffs stuff. That's her thing. And I love this RV resort. We call it a member owner here, meaning my membership entitles me to 1/2000th of a membership share of the property in the business. I actually, when you do that, you get a deed from the county that says you own this fractional share of this real estate. So you actually own a chunk of real estate when you join. So what are the benefits of joining? Do you get your own spot permanently? No, no. You can live here for up to 9 months, and then you have to be out of the park for 3 months. That's the rule. Um, there are people that have been here a long time that are grandfathered in, and they can stay year round, but they still have to move spots every 9 months. They don't want any person in a particular spot permanently. They don't want this to be like a mobile home park. We do accommodate not only members but people. There's prices for um, uh, members of the public that aren't members, so we get those in. There's some one or two nighters. But you can see what's unusual about this park for Pahrump, this area of the country, is I don't know if you've noticed how many big trees there are. There are lots of shade trees all over, and that's very unusual. There's an irrigation system that, keeps these trees alive. Otherwise, they wouldn't survive in the desert. Um, and this grove in front of us is um, the I call it my serenity garden. It's a wonderful garden that has koi ponds and running water and a little waterfall, and I just am in love with it. It's it's a remarkable part of this property, and I if you watch me, you'll see that I do quite a few videos from I set up in there and do it. And I think if I remember now, like I said, this is a couple of days after this. Um, and yeah, okay, that I'm that little vending machine that you saw there at the bottom of the screen sells fish food, so I can feed the koi. And for a quarter, you can get a handful of food. And the resort doesn't make you pay because they want to make money. If they just put food there, um, uh, people would overfeed the fish. So because it costs a quarter, it's kind of slows the pace down a little bit. And there's more than one pond here, so I'm going over to this one where they don't get fed very often. So there they are. So they're like they're into it. I'm sure there are other resorts that have koi ponds like this. I've never seen one. This is the only one. I just love it. And there's um, two big ponds. There's the one over where I got the food is a big one. And I can't remember whether I bring the camera up and show you the rest of this or not. I hope I do. I don't remember though. I'm sorry. Well, you get a little bit of flavor of it. I didn't really do a tour of the park. And today we're not hanging in there. We're just kind of feeding the fish and walking through. And I'm hesitating because I can't remember what I did next here or where I went. So I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna scrub ahead and see what's ahead. And Maybe just jump to the next scene depending on what's going on. All right, so I did jump ahead a little bit. This is some facilities that are available here, and the main thing I wanted to show you was like the tool and wood shop, and I'm like, it's like the door won't open. It's locked. I've never seen it locked before. Well, I found out later that one of the expensive machines was ruined. So now you have to go to the front gate and get a key and sign it out so they know who's in there when. Um, so I didn't know that at the time. These are just like card and arts and crafts rooms, and around the corner, I don't show you, but around the corner is like a little gym that has treadmills and weights and stuff in it. This is like an arts and crafts room. And I'm still trying to figure out, can I, do a back way, get into and show you the wood shop? But the answer to that is no, I can't. Now I know I needed a key to do that. We're on our way back here, and if the sound was on there, you'd hear that dog named Annie just howling and barking really loud. And Annie's deaf, but Annie and Dottie know each other and they're friends. So here we are. We've arrived back home, and I can't possibly forget what time it is because Dottie will let me know. It is breakfast time for Dottie, and she very well knows it. And you would probably, if the sound were on in here, you'd hear her barking. She, so I make Dottie's food. I do ground beef, lean ground beef, and vegetables. And this one I think is peas and broccoli and vegetables, and I put blueberries in there. Blueberries are good for dogs. So this is really nutritious food, much better than that dry stuff. And um, we're pretty happy with that. So every couple of weeks, I need to make the food, and I do 3 pounds of hamburger meat, and I generally use frozen vegetables, and I cook it all in the Instant Pot. And then I have a vacuum sealer where I vacuum seal stuff and in smaller packages, and I freeze it. So I always know that the food I'm giving her is not only nutritious, but it's fresh. And I don't know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going back outside for some reason. Let's see what the heck I'm doing. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm taking a bike ride, it looks like. Wow, today's the 27th and this was the 24th, and amazingly I have like um no memory of this. I'm thinking I'm going to the office to get a package. I think. We'll see. Um, so I have an e-bike, an electric bike. It's made by Electric, not with an E, starting with an electric. They're out of Phoenix. It's the second one I've had, and the reason it's the second one is I bought one of their first model many years ago and loved it. The only problem was it was getting too heavy for me. It folds in half, and um, I was having trouble lifting it. Not trouble, but I could tell that I wouldn't be able to lift it in the back of my truck indefinitely as I age here. And I have a bad back, and I run the risk of injuring my back. So I uh, donated at the one I had, and I bought this new one, new model called the Light model, which is substantially smaller and lighter, but it's plenty of power for me. There's on the left, there's the little Serenity Garden we were just in. So I bought it. It was about $700. I bought it last year. It's like 10 pounds lighter, and that makes a big difference. It's fairly easy for me to fold it up and lift it and put it in the back of the back behind the driver's seat in my truck. So it works really well. This is starting to come back to me. I am headed to get breakfast at the community breakfast. And spoiler alert, we're about to find out I had the day wrong, I think. And I'm going to find out there is no breakfast. I'm going to get up and go in there and find out there's nobody there. But like at least twice, if not three times a week, there's a community breakfast served in here. It's a like a donation of $8, and you get to hang out with your neighbors and have a great breakfast. And the volunteers wait on you hand and foot, bless them. And I'm like, ooh, there's no one in there. So I go to look at the schedule on the wall there and I see, ooh, I was wrong. I had the day wrong. Um, I think I discovered it was yesterday. I think, yeah, this was a Thursday and the breakfast was actually on Wednesday this week. You really have to watch the schedule because I think they try to be consistent, but they're absolutely not. The days change, I think, quite often. So, you could really, you can see how pretty this place is. The landscaping is really pretty remarkable. They really do a good job. It's worth every penny. Um, I've explained in many videos the you can go to the office and buy a membership for $5,000. I think it's 49.95 or something. But they're often ones they're transferable, so they're on the secondary market. So you can often do much better than $5,000. I think I got one a few years ago for 25 or 2,600. I think there's a $300 transfer fee. So what do you get? Well, you get the deed that shows that you own the business and you own a chunk of the real estate here. So I think it's an excellent domicile, especially if you're here for like I am for like 6 months out of the year. Um, and you get a rate right now that is $15.75 per day, including utilities. Now, that likely will go up slightly, maybe 50 cents to $1 a day. Um, they warned us in the last annual meeting that they're probably going to raise the rates. They have to. Inflation. They haven't. It hasn't been raised since I've been here, and I think it's $330 per year for the um, the the annual fee. Now, that's offset by the fact that every year you get 35 days where you only pay um, like 675 per day for so that equates that sort of washes out the $330 annual fee. So bottom line is when I stay here, it's less than $500 a month, including utilities for me to stay here. So that's a great deal, especially if I'm here during warm months, which sometimes am. Last year I stayed through the middle of June. The year before I stayed until July. So why is that significant? It's because the utilities are included. And if you're in the desert here, if you're in the desert in some place that's really hot in the summer, there's Dottie and George. Those electric bills can run $500 easily in a month in a really brutal month. So um, it's a really good deal. Um, anyway, I'm going to stop here, kind of scrub ahead, see what's going to be interesting for you. Well, I didn't need to delete anything because the next thing is it's a big part of my day here. I'm taking Dottie outside, and we're going to go around to her right here. And this is something that I do pretty much every single morning is wait for it. It's coming. It's coming. Dottie's way ahead of me on it. She knows where we're going and what we're doing. And we are going to hang out with my neighbors. Yes, that's what we're doing. And um, they love Dottie. Dottie loves the attention. This is Robin and Patty, and they're just two very nice ladies. They live on either side of me. I've known them for a couple of years now, and they sit out every morning, almost every evening. So, um, and then I'll sit here with them, and various people in the neighborhood will come by while we're sitting here. So it's a lot of socialization, and it's really nice. And you can tell Dottie just loves it. Now Patty's on the right, and Patty is allergic to dog hair. So we try to keep, Dottie likes to rub on your foot and your leg, and she gets hair all over Patty's um, pants or leggings or whatever you call those for women. And so I try to I try to stop Dottie from doing that. Robin on the left doesn't care. She's fine with it. Um, so we sit and chat, and I do little bit of, sometimes I do a little bit of YouTube work, catch up on emails and stuff, and just have a nice, it's nice and pleasant. The weather's great. It's a little cool this morning. We're all wearing jackets and things, and it's just a pleasant part of the day for me. And visitors, that's Annie. Annie's old and deaf and barks really loud. And I don't think Annie can even hear herself. But Annie and Dottie are good friends. So that's somebody dropping by as usual to hang out with us for a little while and visit. All right, so now we finished visiting, and it's time for Rob's breakfast. So I set up the camera here. So uh, let's see what if I can remember what I'm getting here. There's butter. I honestly cannot remember what I had for breakfast, but we're about to find out. Looks like I'm turning so I, I'm guessing eggs because I just turned on the burner underneath the cast iron. Um, Eggs, yeah, there's some eggs. It really looks like a big kitchen and big counter, doesn't it, from this angle? But it's not. It's a little tiny kitchen. Um, but recently, I rearranged a bunch of stuff because I had a ton of things where the camera's sitting right now, and that part of the counter was just covered with electronic stuff, routers and modems and clocks and all kinds of things, and it was just a mess of wires going every which way. My friend Sally Forth looks at it and she said, I don't know how you stand living in a place with that much clutter and wires and I shrugged my shoulder and I said, I don't know what else to do. And like so many things in RV life, that's Pam spray. I'm spraying the the uh, the pan and cracking some eggs in there. But like so often in RV life, I'll do something a certain way for months, weeks, years, and then suddenly I'll have an epiphany that like, oh my God, I didn't realize that I could do it in a much different, better way that I never thought of before. And all I did is took all those electronic things like my Starlink router and the Wi-Fi router and these other things, and I said, you know what? The inverter is in a storage compartment underneath my bed. I can just relocate all this stuff underneath my bed and just run a wire from it if I want to do if I want to hard connect something, I can run a wire up through there. Most of it's wireless though, and I was able to remove everything, almost everything from the counter, and it's so much better and so much cleaner, and there's so much more room. I can't believe I lived for 3 years with that mess, and I never had to because there was an easy, simple solution. But that's what happens in RV life. You suddenly go, oh, you smack yourself in in the head, and you go, oh, I could have done this a completely better, different, more efficient way. Um, and for some reason, it took me forever to see it. But that happens. That happens often. I can't think of other examples at the moment, but I do know um, it's certainly been a thing. Uh, so those are English muffins that I've toasted on. I have a little thing that you metal kind of cage that you put over a burner and turn the burner on, and you can toast bread on it. It's way more efficient than an electric toaster, way more easy, and it's faster. It's better, faster, different. And people have asked me, it's called a camp hyphen a hyphen toaster. And people are like, where can I get one? And it turns out they don't make them anymore. I think Camco used to make them or distribute them. And I checked online, you can't find them. I think there are other versions you can find. Just you might want to look at stovetop toaster, and there are other versions that um, I used to have one where you kind of angle the bread in like a teepee like thing. That didn't work as well, but it worked. So here I am buttering the English muffins with probably too much butter. So any nutritionists out there are going to go, Rob, you don't need that much butter on your English muffins. But you know what? Yes, I do. So I do like, you might notice I like to sort of clean as I go, keep things neat as I go instead of making a big mess and having to clean it all up after I eat. Kind of, usually the last thing I want to do after I eat is, and the eggs are done. I did fried eggs. Is the last thing I really want to do after I eat is have to clean up a mess. Um, so I'm getting all the bits and pieces of egg out of there onto the plate so I don't waste anything. And then going to splash a little bit of water in there, and that loosens up anything that's left. I'm doing that with the spatula. It's loosening up any bits of egg or anything that may be stuck to it. I think I just sampled a piece. Kind of looks that way, doesn't it? So I'm cleaning the the knife I used for the butter. I put it in some of the almost boiling hot water there on the pan. And then I'm doing the same thing with the spatula. That's ready to be put away. And then now I'm pouring water out, but in the garbage, um, And you think, well, why don't you pour it down that sink? Because those black things cover the sink. I don't like putting food stuff in the gray tank. That if I can avoid it, I avoid it. The more organic stuff you put in your gray tank requires you to sanitize and clean it more often. The gray tank can actually stink as bad or if not worse than a black tank, believe it or not, when things start to deteriorate. Um, so I'm leveraging that. I was leveraging that hot water and cleaning the pan and the lid. Um, so also leveraging the remaining hot water to clean the work surface there. Looks like I missed a spot though, doesn't it? And how many people are staring at that little piece of egg that I missed on the counter there? Let's see if I can't remember whether I spotted it or not. And that's my breakfast. Couple of over easy eggs, and Dottie's like, well, where's mine? I deserve I deserve eggs, don't I? All right, so here we are, um, a little bit later, and uh, I'm having to run an errand, and the errand I'm running is that I'm heading to my mail service. So the mail service, can I get mail there at the RV park? Absolutely. I get packages, I get mail all the time. But my full-time year-round mail service is in Pahrump. It's called Mail Messages and More. And there's certain things that just go there year-round. So every when I'm here, every once in a while, I'll drive out there and ask for my mail. And when I'm not here, I can just send her an email and she will put all my mail into a package and forward it to wherever I am. So, like in Quartzsite, once a month or once every couple of months, I'll have her forward the mail. There's really not much that is important that that can't wait. Um, this isn't one of the fancy services that like scans and sends you pictures of everything you get. And a lot of people like that security because here's the thing that you want to know about is a jury summons. Um, you can get in a little bit of hot water if you don't respond to a jury summons. Well, official things like that, the woman that runs mail messages and more knows precisely what those things look like. She sees them all the time. And she is guaranteed to me that if anything like that comes through, she'll notify me immediately. So I don't have that worry. Um, but if you do, and there's like escapees, um, the RV um, membership organization that I've talked about many times, you can Google it, escapees membership, and the website will come up. They have a mail service, a robust one, where they will, um, for the fee, they'll take pictures of everything and scan them, and you'll be able to see your mail as it comes through, and you can make a decision on, hey, you can mark stuff to say throw this stuff away, hold this stuff, and forward the remaining. So if you really want control over your mail. Um, One of the things in is a nomad to be careful with is banks do not like um, mail services at all, and they want they you can have a mailing address, but banks will insist. Like both I have accounts at Bank of America and Washington Federal, and they absolutely insist on the physical address. So my physical address is Crawford Way, where I own the owner member there, and I have this is a separate just mailing address. Now, it's not happened to me, but it's happened to other nomads that I know of for sure that they're unable to open a bank account or sometimes lose their existing bank account because they're unable to produce what the bank um, deems a physical address. So you need to be aware of that. Um, having a There are even mail services that say, hey, you can use our mail service to establish residency. And while that may be true, it may not be equally as good for a bank. So just be aware of the potential for that problem. Um, Mail messages and more is not in the middle of town. It's a ways out here. Um, and I think one of the reasons why she's able to keep the cost down, if I recall, I think it's about $40 a year. Um, and while we're driving here, I'm gonna look that up because I don't want to misquote. Have you guys try to sign up for the service and say, Rob on the video said it was $40. What do you mean it's $79? Um, let's see, rates. It's $140 for a year. It's a yearly fee and actual postage used in some small envelope charges. So it's not $40, it's $140. Pretty good that I looked it up because she wouldn't be happy if people were calling her saying, I want my $40 service, and there is no $40 service. Um, they're not open on the weekends, they're not open on holidays, and you're going to find that's a pretty common thing with many um, mail services. So I had to adjust to that when I was getting packages here. Um, you know, the Amazon would, uh, deliver on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, and you can't get it. So they're not open on the weekends. Just I keep that in mind, and I'm good. So I'm going to skip ahead and just show you what the building looks like. Hang on. And here we are. It's up here on the left. Mail, messages, and more. She also has storage units, as you can see, that you can rent. I don't know what the rates are on those. It's not something that I'm interested in. And also, to the left there is a room where you can rent like a PO box. So if they're not open on the weekends, you can still get your mail because you can go in and just open your box. And that's not if I lived here full time and I was I might consider doing that, but so the next part of the errand, this visit is going to create a new errand. I had mentioned that I have pretty severe arthritis in my right hip, and if I had the insurance, I'd be getting a hip replacement. But I'm using a chiropractor now to keep me on my feet, and I go intently for 2 sessions a week while I'm here in Pahrump. But after I leave Pahrump and like I go for the winter, things deteriorate. Um, and it gets harder and harder for me to get around. And so the doctor has said, you can use uh, a handicap placard for when things are rough. You should be able to use a handicap spot to get in and out of places. And I was like, that's great. So I got the form, I filled out my part, gave it to his office to fill out, and I went in and got it, and they handed it to me, and I just stuffed it in the envelope and sent it to the DMV. And here I got a letter from the DMV saying, thanks for your application. So page one was me filling out, page two was for the doctor, and they sent it back to me and they said, the second page is blank. It's not filled out. And sure enough, I don't know what happened, but when they said it was done and handed it to me, it was never done. So what I'm having to do now is I'm sitting in the car now looking at trying to figure this out. And I decide what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive over to Dr. Lewis's place and drop it off and say, maybe kid them a little bit about giving me a blank form back and ask them to do it, and I'll mail it back next week. So here we are. I jumped ahead to turn it into Dr. Lewis's place, Med Spine, and this will be familiar to you regulars where I talk to you on my way to my chiropractic appointments. And there's his office right there. And I'm just going to pop in there, give him the form, and next week I'll get it back and I'll send it back to the DMV. So at this point, we are back home, and that is an air fryer, my little mini air fryer, and I'm making cookies. I'm going to make a small batch of um, chocolate chip cookies. You know, it's the kind you buy um, that they're already it's raw cookie dough, and you buy a package of it, and I I think I can fit, depending on the size, 4 or 5 into the air fryer. And people say, you have a convection oven. Why don't you just put them all in there and do it? And I do that occasionally, but I like doing little batches in in the air fryer. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. I have no logical explanation other than I like it. And I'm looking at the TV. I have no idea what's on the TV. It looks like a bunch of ads for batteries or something. It's probably YouTube. It's probably ads on my videos. And here I am. I'm uh, these collapsible. It looks like Tupperware, but it's not. It's uh, I forget what they're called. I buy them in Quartzsite at the Big Tent show. They have a stand there every year, and I won't be buying more this year because I already have too many of them. But they collapse down. They're really durable. They last a long time. I think they're called Snap something. I can't remember. If anyone recognizes them and knows what they're called, um, say so in the comments. But I'm transferring the remaining cookie dough into one of those, so it'll seal and they'll stay fresh. I'm looking at the directions just to double check on the temperature and the time. You would think I've done this so many times, so often. And why I'm reading it that long is probably having trouble reading the small print. So I'm setting that, and we'll stop here and we'll scrub ahead and see if it's, I think I show you the final product. And there it is. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? They taste really good too. So, so I just kind of slide the parchment out and if I try to pick them up now, they'll crumble. So I need to let them cool down so they kind of solidify, and I can go ahead and put them in. That's another one of those containers, and I'll put them in there. And putting a new piece of parchment in because I think I'm doing a second batch. That's what I'm doing here. Now I'm back in my bike, and I remember where I'm going this time. I have changed into my swimming trunks, and I've got my towel, and I'm headed to the pool. And what I'm really looking forward to doing today is spending a little bit of time in the hot tub. So I'll show you the pool though in this, and it's it's a pretty remarkable pool as you will see. Again, this is maybe what the third time we've cruised down here today. We have the my little serenity garden, the grove of trees on the left here. Um, you can see the speed bumps on this side have a little gaps for bikes, so you don't have to fly over the speed bump. And I'm trying to keep my speed down here. It's hard. I'm trying to, the speed limit even on an e-bike is 5 miles per hour, but it's kind of hard to stay upright at five. So it looks like, I'm between five if you look at the speedometer, um, between 5 and 10. There's 8, 7. So I'm doing my best. Trying to keep it slow, but seriously, if you're anything like at 5 and under, you start losing stability on the bike. And that's the enclosed pool on the right. We'll get a better view of it in a minute. I'm going to drive around to the back here. There's a bike rack here. Um, I'm going to lock it up, not because I think there are any thieves around. It's a pretty secure place, but I think it's a great idea when it's easy. Remove temptation. Now, if there's a bicycle theft ring, this little flimsy lock will not even slow them down, not even a little bit. I got my towel there and grabbing my phone and my headset so I can maybe listen to stuff, watch a little YouTube when I'm in the hot tub. And here we are. So that is the pool, and they have it. It's cool today, so they have it fully enclosed. So inside it's super, super warm. But this cover is on tracks. It's not electric. You move it. You can move it with a finger. It's so well balanced, and open it up in the middle when it's warm. So this is kind of a little seating area, and in here, this is the indoor hot tub. Um, so I've forgotten. I think I want to leave a bunch of stuff here on a table. I think. No, what I'm doing is I'm going to the sound system and I'm turning it down. I'm alone in here and the thing is cranked up that I can hardly think. It's so loud. So I'm turning the volume down, which will probably annoy somebody. Somebody will go, "Who's in here messing with the volume?" And there'll probably be a sign next week. Do not adjust volume. $50 fine. I just love this hot tub. So I'm putting down my stuff. And you know what? I don't think I'm getting in because we'll see here. If memory serves me, I think what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of my shirt and everything and getting ready to go in, but there's something that I need to do first. So I put it back around my neck, but it's pointing up into the sky. I wonder how long that's going to last. Oh, I fixed it. Looks like I fixed it. So what I'm doing is there's a rule. You have to take a shower before you get in the pool or the hot tub, and here's the shower. So I'm going to follow the rules and I'm going to take a shower. And there I am. Proof that I'm a rule follower. And now I'm going over, there's a little timer on the wall that will fire up the jets, and it's on a timer, and it's so nice and warm, and the jets are powerful. It feels really good. It's great for my hip. So I'm taking it off and trying to set it up so you can see what it's like when I'm sitting in here and relaxing. There we go. I don't know why I keep messing with it. It was fine the way it was, I think. So, and I keep turning around and looking at it. I don't know why. So what I think I'm doing here is I'm getting set up to, I have waterproof, I got the glasses on. Why do I keep messing with the camera? I have no idea why I keep doing that. I have no idea. I don't remember. Um, I think I'm concerned about the glare from the sun coming in, and I'm trying to get a better picture, but it's making it worse. It's making my face like dark. Now, these are my waterproof earphones. I didn't have waterproof ones before, and I learned the hard way that I needed waterproof ones because I like listening to books on tape and YouTube or whatever when I'm in the hot tub. So I'm setting that up, and now I'm looking for my phone, and I'm gonna I think I'm gonna listen to the news or look at a YouTube video. But anyway, the rest of this is pretty darn boring, so we're gonna skip ahead to the next thing I did today. So it looks like I arrived back and I'm securing my bike at my site there. Grabbing my phone. And I see that my friends are out again, hanging out. So that's where I'm going for a second time today to hang out with. You notice it's a different trailer than I think before. I hung out with them, and then I came back to see Dottie, and we're taking her out. So she's been cooped up for a little while in there. That's my Starlink. My internet solution is Starlink. I love my Starlink. I've had it for a long time. And Dottie's going for her second walk of the day. You can kind of tell from the light. It's late afternoon at this point. She's on a sniffing mission, but I'm ready with a bag. You know, one of the great things about having a dog is it gets you out there walking, exercising, moving around. If you're all tempted to sit on the couch or in the recliner for too long, um, you realize I gotta take my dog, and oh, there's a reason for the bag. You see, here's someone's a rule follower. That's at least a 5 mile an hour um, speed there. They're real serious about that in here, about that 5 miles per hour. I was over touring a mobile home park over by the hospital a few weeks ago, and their speed limit was 15. It'd be like the Indy 500 compared to here at 15 miles an hour. They're triple the speed. So I'm making my way over to this is where the closest dumpster is to me. It's like they get a little overloaded the day before the day before they pick them up. So we're just going to go around the block here. Now I'm not going in there, but straight ahead you see um, there's three trailers next to each other straight ahead, but to the right of that is a big tree, um, or a few big trees. Underneath that is like a little dog park. It's fenced in. You take your dog in there, have them run around, but we're not going in there today. We're just getting a little bit of exercise. Can you look at all the trees there are? Now, there aren't trees like this everywhere in the park. There's a few rows like this, and they're sought after, these sites, because especially if it's warm, it provides a lot of um, shade, but it also really it's a warmer feeling, a better feeling for me when I'm somewhere with, especially an RV park, if there are a lot of trees. Um, Now, oh, I just remembered something kind of funny happens here. I happen to know that my friends are out in right around the corner here in front of this thing. So I let Dottie go ahead of me because I know a dog she knows is visiting there, and that's Annie, which I've mentioned. And this is Annie's mom, who I've never met. Annie's always with her dad, and she was kind of freaked out, like she's worried that. And then I said, "No, it's okay. They know each other." And she said, "They do?" I go, "Yeah, yeah. The two dogs are very friendly with each other. They like each other. Don't worry." She was kind of worried about a strange dog. And I didn't realize that it was her mom and not her dad, because her dad would be like, "Oh, that's Dottie." So now um, you can see how close I am to them. I just walk around here. That's my rig right there, right in front of us. Dottie knows where it is, don't you, Dottie? I think we're really close to the end here. Um, you know, I obviously I feed Dottie again. It doesn't look any different when I feed her the second time. And for the evening, I spend a lot of time in that chair right there because you see the TV there. I watch TV, relax, and that's how I wind things up. And you just saw a typical day in the life.
So as always, I want to thank you for joining me on one of my videos. And if you made it all the way to the end here, thank you so much. I'm very grateful. And I hope you enjoyed seeing what a typical day in the life of a nomad is. It may seem boring, but it's a lifestyle and a day-to-day existence I find extremely satisfying. I find a lot of joy in it. And I will see you tomorrow.